the masks is having a hard time figuring out who's on first.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Okay?
Yep.
So, the next item up is 2 parking yards, Unit 1. This is a continuation from our last meeting. And here we are.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Can you have your names for the record, please?
My name is Suzanne Trahan. My name
Okay.
is Chrissy Taylor.
Okay.
Disaster already. Inconsistent, right?
So, our last meeting, we gave you guys a little bit of homework,
Yeah.
and we'd like to hear how you made out.
We're trying to get approval for the shed. They say that they have had sheds, utility things before, but they're trying to set up location. It's like between going back to our landlord, to them talking to a lawyer, talking to the board. It's been like a thing in patience, going back and forth, trying to, because then they want to know where, and, you know, so we're negotiating where and stuff like that. Okay? But I also wanted to ask if I can just readdress the whole need for a shed issue. Okay? And I'd like to bring that, I mean, I want to start and backtrack a little bit about how we use the hay. We normally have 1 to 4 bales of hay. But like every now and then, like somebody may drop off a couple of bales after we just had a delivery or something like that, so it may creep up a little bit every now and then. And it kind of struck me odd that you thought we would need a shed, so like I checked with MSPCA Boston. They store their hay indoors, their shelter. Lowell Humane stores their hay indoors, store their shelter. My local Ace Hardware has a thing with like 12 bales of hay next to 12 bales of straw inside the store. And then I was thinking, okay, you guys have a Petco down the street. They're not selling hay out of a shed in their parking lot. Okay, so I went into Petco, and their display, they have on one aisle two 4-foot planks, so 8 feet long, 4 shelves high, and then an end unit with 2 that they store hay on. So if that, I mean, there's supply issues right now, but if that were full, that'd be about 13 bales of hay, because that's, 36, 38 feet. A bale of hay is 3 feet long by 16 by 19, a standard 2-string bale. So if Petco can have 13, equivalent 13, and I don't even know what they'd have in back in storage, I'm asking that we be treated the same as Petco. And, I don't think that what we're doing is inside of any, worse than, we're doing less than what Petco's doing.
So let me just stop you there. We got a letter from the fire department saying they're not sure about the rules and regulations. They're going to look into it.
Right.
So I think at this point of the game, that's between you and the fire department.
Right, I mean, I have been calling him. I called him back in January. It took him like at least a week to get back to me. And I said to him, well, clearly people have hay in their houses, they buy hay in the store, so where does it cross the line to being storage versus routine use?
Right.
And then I called him again on Monday, and I explained to him what I found in Petco, because I figure, if Petco's allowed to do that, I would hope that I would be allowed to do that.
Right.
I'm not asking for anything more than what Petco can do. And even like I looked in, like the hardware store down there on Route 40, I mean, they have this big pallet of charcoal briquettes, of bags of charcoal on the thing. I mean, that's considered combustible too. But yet they have a big pallet, and I brought lots of pictures of that stuff, so.
I think it's going to come back to how the sprinkler system in each individual building is designed, to be honest with you. That's how I read the fire department's letter to us.
Okay, because I didn't get any letter or anything, so I don't know what is going on.
So he's basically questioning what the sprinkler system in that building would handle. Maybe Petco has a bigger sprinkler system or something. I mean, I'm just speaking out loud here, I'm not sure,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I think that's what it's going to come down to, is what type of sprinkler system is in the unit and what it would be able to handle.
okay.
So I think at this point of the game, let's forget about the shed. You have to figure out hay, no hay, or where it's gonna go, where it's not gonna go. So I think that one's kind of solved itself. What else did we ask you for? Oh, so the other thing was the condo association as far as acceptance of a shed, so that's a non-issue again. And was there anything else?
I think you wanted me to talk to the fire department,
Yeah.
Okay, so,
which
yeah.
I
So
that's-
You know,
asked and answered, so we've done all that.
yes.
Wasn't there some issue, Scott, pardon me, about how other tenants in that complex would react to this type of use? And I'm not suggesting we open Pandora's box, but
We discussed that last
it
meeting.
is either a unique or creative use. Jeff?
So, Mr. Chair, I can testify to the fact that I did speak with one of the attorney representing one of the other tenants, and they said that they were very much supportive of this. I did not speak to the other tenant, but one of the other two did say that they were very supportive. And that was Kevin Erickson, attorney for Robert Walker.
Okay.
It's one of his entities.
So I also spoke with the direct abutter, and he had no issues. He was in favor of it, thought it would, you know, it's a different use. And,
And even noticed if they had issues, they could have come here or sent a letter or something, so. Sans any information from, any rebuttal from them, I don't see that the neighbors are an issue.
It's within the condo docs. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the neighbors did express issue with parking, which I don't fully get, because every time I've gone down there, it's been like 20 to 25 parking spaces, and they kind of implied if we use more than 3, we could impact them, but we should be able to use our fair share of the parking spaces, and there's an auto school with 9 vehicles, and there's a livery service with 13 vehicles,
Yeah.
so.
I think that's,
And that's a condo, to me, that's a condo issue, not a board issue,
I
planning
think
board issue.
that's, the purview is that not of this board, it's of the condo, if that gets to be an issue. I don't think we need to, personally, I don't think we need to get into the parking there, that's not our,
Yeah,
that's not.
I was just
issue.
trying to full
No,
disclosure,
I think
because you were asking
You work
about,
that out with with everybody there, and somehow that's beyond what we need to think about, I believe.
any other questions or comments from the board? David, was that, 2 people, is that satisfactory?
Yeah,
to you?
no, I'm fine, yeah.
Okay.
It is this is somewhat unique, I think.
It's unique, and it's also unique in the fact that the CH district is the only district in town that can do this, which I'm kind of surprised at. I guess if you have more than 5 acres, you can do whatever you want, but, so, nothing from this board. Okay. So we are looking for a special permit to allow the boarding and renting and sale of animals or rabbits on parcels of less than 5 acres. So, going backwards a little bit, Jeffrey,
It looked like you were wrapping things up, maybe for a vote.
well, I was, but I changed my mind.
Okay, because I knew you wanted to see if anyone from the public wanted to.
Correct, and that was one thing. Is there anybody in the audience to speak in favor of this?
I'm here as the owner of the condo.
Oh, okay.
And I serve on the board of a national rabbit rescue group that's headquartered in Richmond, California. And the reason that I agreed to partner with House Rabbit Network on this is because there is a need. This is an underrepresented, both in terms of the animals and caregivers to rabbits. So, you know, this is a passion project for sure. And, you know, in terms of, you know, there's lots of vets in the area, but there aren't a lot of veterinarians who specialize in rabbits. I meet a lot of veterinarians who say, oh yeah, I saw one once, I'll do it for $20. It's just not confidence inspiring. From our internal data, most veterinarians get between 2 and 4 hours of training on rabbits in veterinary school, and that does not an expert make. Somebody who I would trust with a rabbit is usually somebody who's been working with a rescue for a long time, somebody who's used to doing, you know, 10 to 15 spays and neuters in a day, as opposed to seeing 1 rabbit a month. So, you know, this is, for people who have rabbits as companions, it's a member of their family. Just like, you know, I have my dog. I'm not gonna just take her to any veterinarian. I wanna feel comfortable with that person. So, there are a lot of reasons why this is a really valuable service to the community. Not just in terms of taking a burden off taxpayers, but just in terms of helping people understand why They shouldn't just dump a rabbit. Why? They might be able to get a rabbit spayed or neutered at a discount if they work with a rescue, or and other ways to prevent more rabbits from entering the system. Because even though rabbits are, according to the American Pet Products Association's American Pet Owner Survey, they do that every year, their data suggests that rabbits are about the 9th most popular pet in the United States, but they're the 3rd most abandoned. And I infer from that there's a considerable burden to taxpayers in terms of taking care of these animals at shelters. And most shelters don't know how to take care of them. A lot of them will adopt them out unaltered, which is a great way to create more rabbits, which compounds the problem that we're already talking about. I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that's what I have to say on the matter.
Okay, thank you. So I know where I was headed with this. One of the things that I had talked about at the last meeting is that there's going to be no dogs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
So it's going to be limited to rabbits?
In the shelter part, just rabbits.
Yep.
For the clinic part, we want to include cats because we're not sure if we can have like a full-time vet, if there's enough for us to do full-time. So we might do like half cats, half rabbits. And we might throw in like a few other, like, similar type animals like guinea pigs, chinchillas, you know, in that same small classification there.
Okay, quiet animals.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Rabbits are very quiet.
Would this be like days where they come in and get served,
Yes.
treated for the day and then gone? They're
Day
not going to be
surgery,
housed
yes.
on the
Correct.
property? Okay.
Correct.
Would the rabbits be safe with the cats there, I guess, is that?
They're in vet hospitals all the
Very different.
time, and they're all in their separate little,
Okay.
you know, kennel space for the day. Like they have a little day spot that they go to. Yeah.
My rabbits bully my dog. She's, 10 times their size?
Yeah.
so you've given us some brief numbers as far as the number of procedures you would do in a day, and
Yeah.
also the estimated number of animals on the site.
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably gonna start out, we'd like to start out with like 15 to 25 in the shelter part, and 20-ish per day in the clinic part. But, you know, depending on how things go, you know, you fine-tune things, you sometimes figure out ways to expand a little bit.
So what is your max number for animals living on site in the future?
I think it would be under 50. I mean, it might be 40, it might be
Well,
35.
better way of asking, what's your capacity that you could take?
Yeah, but it, you know, it also depends upon staffing and, you know, and figuring
But I
out.
assume you have to have a cage for each rabbit.
Yes,
So what's your capacity?
depends upon how tight, you know, I mean, that's, how much space they each need is subjective, right? I would say our capacity is probably in the 40 to 50 range.
So you're not gonna have cages set up, people are gonna bring them in a cage.
Are you talking for the shelter or for the clinic?
For your shelter, actually,
For the shelter, we have our own cages there.
how many is that?
We haven't set anything up yet but we have 14 cages that we were using that we moved over. There's no animals in them yet. We moved the cages in. There's 14 in there. And we're probably gonna buy 8 more to start and see how it feels. And then we may buy a few more after that. You know, like sometimes, like you tweak things sometimes as you go along, so it's not like we, and some of it depends, a lot of it depends upon our staff too, but I think our max would probably be in like 40, 45 range.
So 50 is a good number?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it,
That's for the boarding part.
yes.
And what do you think is a good number for procedural part?
With one vet, like 20 to 25 a day, it's quite possible if we get 2 vets in there, we might go up to, there might be double that, but it'd just be for the day, and if we need to cut back on shelter animals in order to accommodate that, we can do that too.
So do you have capacity there to get 50 procedures and 50 boarders?
I don't think we'd ever go past that, no.
Okay. So those are the numbers we're gonna set, if that's okay.
Yep, that works.
Okay. Doesn't mean you have to have that, but
Yes.
that's the upper limit. I
Yes.
think we need to put a limit on this.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we want to be smart with, we had a shelter in Bill Ricker for like 9 years that we just moved out of, and, we knew our limits there and our staffing needs and stuff like that, so, and our space needs there. So it,
You did say possibly 75 to 100 with future growth. Is that, you're not gonna be doing that then, I guess? Is that?
I might have been combining the shelter and the clinic, I'm not really sure.
And what are your hours of operation gonna be?
For the clinic, we'd probably do drop-offs like 7 and 9 in the morning, and then pickups would be like 4 to 6 in the evening, and, so like base 7 in the morning is like 6-ish at night. For the shelter part, probably like 8 to 8.
Jeff?
Just watching the video from the last meeting, was it not true that you might also have like one employee come back in the evening to just do some?
Yes.
So I think the board's trying to get a sense, if they could simply do this is the earliest start, and this is the latest close.
Yeah.
For the retail public coming in, not your
Okay.
staff.
For retail public coming in, I think safe would be like 8 to 8. We may have a staff person coming later than that, just to check out on the bunnies and tuck them in, or if there's any type of issues. Like if somebody calls me and say a bunny's sick, I may run over there at 10 o'clock at night to check on the bunny. But that's not public. As far as the public, I say easily 8 to 8 would be good.
So there's no 7 o'clock drop-off?
For the shelter, no. For the clinic, yes.
So this is all inclusive?
Right.
So 7 in the morning to late at night?
Yes.
Okay. 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
In an emergency, would there be more than one employee going back, or just one person?
Depends upon what it is. Like if, for example, there was like some type of fire hazard or something and we have to evacuate, we might try to get 3 or 4 employees there to kind of evacuate the bunnies.
On a regular basis?
On a regular basis, it'd be like 1 person most.
So I guess what we should say is the 7 to 8 is for normal retail business. If there are emergencies where you have to go in after 8 or before 7 because someone called you and said, my bunny is sick, it got hit by a car, it got something.
Oh, I'm not talking the public for that. I'm talking like our shelter bunnies. Like let's say
I'm
one.
talking the public, okay?
Okay, we don't offer emergency services.
Okay, that's fine, I want to be sure.
Yeah,
I just
no.
want to make sure you get everything you need.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think we have any other conditions, or orders of conditions that you guys want to?
I think they need to follow up with fire.
Yeah, that's kind of we're here to discuss the zoning. They've got to go to fire, and if fire has a problem with what's going on, then they've come here for 2 nights and didn't do so well.
And I've called. I have
Oh,
called.
no, it's no, I mean, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You've made your diligent effort.
Yeah, I just think, you want to be sure you get that piece of it nailed down,
Yes.
because, it is a commercial space.
Yes.
Our fire department is very good about inspecting commercial spaces on a rotational basis. You'll see the fire truck pull up and 6 guys will jump out, all geared up and come in and
Yep.
be very cordial to you and say, where's your fire extinguisher? Don't block that entrance,
Yes.
so on and so forth. So it's not something you think you can get away with. You're going to have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
diligent about it.
Yes.
Okay.
So Jeff, would that fall back to the building inspector?
So.
Once the dialogue is back and forth with the fire department?
So if there is building or fire code that is an issue, whatever this board doesn't do anything to affect that jurisdiction. If there's a code issue, they have to address it, plain and simple.
Okay.
It's not really.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I know you asked if there was anyone from the public to speak in favor. Did you ask if there
Is
was?
there anybody to speak in opposition to this proposal? Seeing none. So So once again, I'll go back to, we're looking for a special permit to allow for the boarding, renting, and sale of animals, rabbits, and a parcel of less than 5 acres. And we want to, first of all, close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
So the motion was made by Jim, seconded by Paul. Back to the special permit.
Sorry, did you take a vote
Vote.
on it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Sierra. Okay, special permit. Paul,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Scott Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and I will also vote in the affirmative.
I'm
So-
sorry, could I get a first and second on that as well? For the,
Okay, I move to approve.
Second.
thanks, sorry.
So Jim moved to approve, Jay seconded it. Paul,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Scott Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and I will also vote in the affirmative.
Thank you.
So, the staff has 14 days to write the decision. There is a 20-day appeal period. And then after that, bring on the rabbits. Good luck.
So much.
Good luck.
Thank
This is
you.
an interesting venture. It's something new to Westford, and I hope you do well.
Good luck.
Yeah, we've already been communicating with your ACO. She's excited.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you. Sarah also, thank you.
A lot of announcements to do tonight. All right, so, next item is 25 Abbott Street, and Dan Bridgeton is going to recuse himself from this. So 25 Abbott Street, come on down. Give us your names and tell us what you're up to. Before you do that, we open the public hearing on 25 Abbott Street.
So moved.
Second.
So, Paul and Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now you can go ahead.
Did you actually vote?
We have a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're disorganized tonight.
That's right.
I'm disorganized tonight. We got,
It's all a mask.
it is the mask.
Yeah, pain in the neck.
Okay, so give us your names,
Katie Cannell?
Philip Connell, PJ.
okay? And tell us what you're trying to do.
So 25 Abbott Street, purchased a home, family home, and we are currently doing some renovations on the home. The special permit is for a proposed portico over the front steps. The home obviously is non-conforming, front and right side, because it's a corner lot. And the proposed portico is basically the same size as the steps that were already there on the property, were already non-conforming. So that's basically what we're looking for tonight, is to see if we can add the covered portico to what would be the existing stairs for the front of the home.
Okay.
There was a secondary entrance that had a covered porch, but that's been removed, so there'll only be one main entrance, and that's the entrance that we hope to have shelter cover for.
So that breezeway door is going to be taken out, is that?
Right.
Okay. Is the garage down? I drove by there today. Is the garage torn off already?
Yeah.
Garage and that connecting room are gone.
Okay.
It didn't have a foundation under the connecting room, so it'll be rebuilt with a foundation, and the garage will be rebuilt. There's major work being done in the house to bring it up to code, electrical, HVAC, everything, basically.
A lot of digging going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a mess right now, but
Hopefully,
coming along.
Well, you know, unfortunately, you're on a corner.
Yeah.
So now you get two front yards.
Right.
Whereas if you weren't on a corner, you'd only have one front yard. But, you know, this is This is what we deal with all the time because of, at the time all these houses were built, it met the zoning requirements.
Right.
But we've moved on and it doesn't anymore, so. Great looking plan.
Yep.
I think it'll be a nice addition. Does anybody have any questions for the now?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Is there anybody in the audience to speak in favor of this request? Anybody in the audience to speak against this request? All right, seeing none. Well, before we do that, is there a lot more to tear off the house?
No,
No.
You're all done with the tearing off?
all done,
Okay.
Karen.
And all the debris has been removed off the site already?
99.9%, yeah.
Okay, all right. Typically, we have a lot of tearing off going down. We put a 30-day clause in there that the rubbish has to be removed within 30 days, but when I went by today, it didn't look like there was a whole lot left of anything there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the-
no, it's already, they took care of all that already.
Okay. Can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Jim made the motion, Jay seconded it. I don't think there's any conditions. Paul?
Yes.
Jay?
Will you approve it?
Move to approve?
Move to approve.
Well, let me go backwards here.
Are we just voting on closing the public hearing?
We just closed it.
So we're looking for a special permit to allow for the alteration of a non-conforming single-family structure via the construction of a portico over the entryway resulting in a front yard setback of 40.9 feet where 50 feet is required. We have a motion to approve that.
I move to approve.
Second.
So Jim moved to approve, Paul seconded it. Paul?
Yes.
Jay? Yep. Dr. Cheryl?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And I also will vote in the affirmative. So, approved. I heard me say earlier, you get 14 days to write the decision, 20-day appeal period. You're way beyond that because you've started construction already. But as far as building that portico goes, wait 20 days so that, just in case someone wants to appeal it.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
You gonna live there, PJ?
Yeah.
Your
Think
father will be
about
happy.
your neighbor to the left and one across the
I
street.
can't stand, I can't.
Just give me a little
stand on the
advice,
left.
PJ.
He's
It's
been tagging.
up to you. Some people make bad decisions.
I think so, very.
Couple of neighbors there that I'd be leery of.
So your father actually built the house?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
When was the house originally built? In the 50s,
Uh,
probably?
54.
Yeah.
Born, I
Yeah, I figured it
came
was
from the
about that
hospital right into the house.
vintage, yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't look
Appreciate
good.
it.
Really welcome.
It'll be
Thank you.
Good luck.
You're welcome. All right, next item on the agenda is 175 Littleton Road, Unit 5. And Hassan for a special permit.
Hello,
Can you tell us your name,
Change
please?
location.
I'm Son.
Okay, excuse
Caroline
me
Quinn.
Excuse me for 1 minute. Can we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
So the motion is made by Jim, seconded by Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ladies, now you can give us your names.
I'm Son.
Okay?
Caroline Quinn.
All right. So, tell us what you want to do here.
Well, I want to do eyebrows. Like, it's a semi-permanent makeup for people who lose their hair on the eyebrows for lots of reasons, like age or cancer, and there's other like health issues that people run into where they lose their hair. So that service helps them feel good and enhance their look.
Okay? So my understanding was that there was already a license there, and you bought the business, is that
Yep.
correct?
No, we didn't buy it from her.
We didn't buy it? Oh, no, we didn't buy it from her.
No,
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 right.
she moved down to Boston Road.
Okay.
We're totally new, but she was doing the same procedures that we do. And she got a special permit to do it because it was labeled as a tattoo, but it's not really, it's not a tattoo.
So that leads to two questions. One, Jeffrey,
Yes, sir.
did she take her license with her?
No, special permit?
Yes.
No. She secured, I think, a separate special permit, I thought. So the special permit that was for this exact space
Uh-huh,
lapsed
okay.
because you had an explicit condition of approval that said upon transfer of ownership or leaving, it vacates, it's gone.
Okay.
So even though they're here to do essentially the same use,
Mhm.
they need a new special permit from you folks, based upon your prior decision.
So that answers that question. So I guess having nothing to do with this, is the person who had the special permit down the street operating without a license, a special permit?
Did she not come before this board twice? I thought there was one instance, which is not relevant to this.
Right.
I thought there was one instance that she secured an approval, but did not actually operate out of that initial location and had to come to the board again.
I don't know, well, it's a question for another day, I guess.
Well, we can research that outside
Yep,
of this matter.
okay. So we are familiar with this, the process, I guess, and the location, obviously. Does anybody have any questions regarding any of this, again?
Just on the tattooing, and you have something here that says, you know, we're told by the officer, microblading is not allowed in Westford due to tattooing policy.
Yeah, people.
So it seems like it's tattooing eyebrows, essentially.
It's a form of tattoo,
It's not deep, it's not permanent.
but it's not, yeah, exactly. It's not deep and it's not
This-
forever. It does fade away over time,
Within 2 years, it's gone.
within 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years?
Yes,
So you're just doing this area here? then?
Yep.
Yeah.
yes.
And that's what the previous, is that what the previous permit allowed?
Yes.
Yes.
What type of licensing do you guys need to do this?
A Board of Health governs us.
So it's a different,
Permanent makeup artists need a license through
Yep.
Board of Health.
Yes.
Yeah,
so would it be the same license as a tattoo parlor or different?
Different,
it's quite similar, so, but it's not really,
okay.
yeah, because it's not, like, we follow everything
The
same as a
guidelines,
tattoo
right.
person would, basically, in the room, like the cleaning purpose and all. But it's not, like, the service itself is not same as tattoo. Does that make sense?
They had to
'Cause
categorize it
tattoo-
into something, and that's what they put us into.
So
It's just a
it's
service
just
we do on Monday.
local, or do you need a state license like a barber? You have to have a state
Oh, no,
license?
just a local. Every city
No,
has their
every
own
city has their own
rules and
laws.
regulations.
Yeah.
Basically.
So you couldn't take this and go to another town without getting approval over there?
No, I already got my license in Acton and in Leominster.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I got this place in Westford, I had to get the license here.
Now, do you have businesses in Acton and Leominster? So this will be your third?
Yes, this
Is
is my
this,
third
is
spot.
this all you primarily do is tattoo eyebrows?
Yes, I do eyebrows.
She no longer does it in Leominster.
No, I don't do
And
that.
she will no longer be doing it in Acton. She's moving it to this area.
Yeah.
Zoning had no, they had no.
We didn't
there was
have
no
any
zoning
issues with the
issues
zoning in
in
Leominster
Acton.
and Acton.
Right.
That's why it was very new to me when I came here.
And you have a clean record with the previous boards of health and everything else?
Yeah,
Okay.
How many customers you get a day?
you know, it's,
Roughly, I'm just,
Oh.
I'm trying to get a picture, I'm trying to get a picture of how much the service is required.
I personally take only in between 1 to 3 clients, that's it. So, in the regular basis, I get 2 to 3 clients a day, and I only work 3 days a week.
You don't do mustaches, huh?
You, you know, I do threading.
I do a mustache. I can get rid of your mustache. I do laser as well.
Wow.
So if you want to get rid of your mustache, I can get rid of your mustache.
Oh, so you do laser treatments there too then? Oh.
Yeah.
So it's eyebrows, lasering, and what else? What are all
I do
the,
threading.
what are the full services that will be performed in that unit?
Well, we have 4 rooms, right? Yeah, so I have 2 rooms for microblading, and I have 1 room for, that I got approved for, like, esthetician
Yeah,
part.
aesthetics. Yeah,
Aesthetics.
spa,
And then we
facials.
have a laser room, and then.
For hair removal.
Yeah, and then we have, actually, we basically have 2 esthetician rooms.
Yeah. Facials, well,
Right.
no laser or microblading. And you have an extra room for lashes or Botox.
Yeah.
So it's like a middle med spa.
You're licensed to do Botox?
I'm not. I have someone who actually
A nurse.
works in Westford.
Okay.
Yeah. She works in Cerulli. I don't know if you guys know about that place.
Sounds like Paul's gonna come down and see you. He's found us everything here.
Look at the menu over there.
He's gonna get it all done.
Very happy.
Yeah, and my next plan is to do micropigmentation, for like a scalp pigmentation in future. Not yet. Not right now.
But there's license required for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything requires a license.
So
Permits.
so, when you say a license, this is a license from the state?
From the city.
So.
Department of Public Health?
Yes.
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 We're talking about a special permit here, we're not talking about a license.
No, we don't, we get the license from the Board of Health.
Yeah. They give
They
me.
govern us.
The Board of Health of the town of Westford or the State Board of Health?
Whatever town you work in, so yes, Westford.
So you have a state license and a license from the town.
Yes.
Oh, we don't.
No, no.
We don't
state.
need a state license.
No medical
You just need
training
a
involved?
Huh?
No medical training involved for you to get these licenses?
No.
No.
I mean, we have to take some online course. We do
I
have to do
retract.
tests. Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, I do have to pass some tests online, and I have to do it once a year,
Okay.
every year.
That's all I
Yeah.
want, I
Yes,
was
yes.
hoping so, but,
No, absolutely. I have to learn those things in order to
Okay.
do my job.
So just to clarify, you get state licensing that's overseen by the local Board of Health.
No, I don't get the state license. I
It's-
get
it's-
the
They're all city licenses.
city, because each city has their own rules.
Yeah, but see, I don't think a city or a town does not issue this type of license. Like my wife is a cosmetologist, okay? She gets a license from the state.
That's for cosmetology.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different.
From what I
This is
do.
governed by the health department.
So you have no state licenses,
No.
okay? I just want to be sure that we're on the same page here. The Board of Health comes in from the town,
Yes.
inspects the premises.
Sets the guidelines.
They checked my permits through, you know.
What permits
Or
though?
permits.
Like my microblading and whoever, you know, my instructor who gave me the permit.
Training
Training
permit.
permit.
And who is this instructor that gives you the training permit? Is it just a cosmetology school?
No, I went to actually New York, and I had a couple artists who've been doing it for a long time, and I got my permit through them. And then I came, you know, I went to the Board of Health and I showed them, and then they checked my place. They say it was okay to do it, and they gave me the license to work in the town.
we must have done that with the other one as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I must be misremembering. I had thought there might have been something from the state, but, I mean, whatever the case, whatever permits or licenses are needed from state or local, you know, they're obligated to get that outside of your jurisdiction.
Okay.
So under the zoning board, microblading is considered body art. So essentially, there's no difference, right?
Correct.
Is that,
Under your
Tattoo
guidelines.
parlor,
Yeah. Under your guidelines, yes.
is that
Under your bylaws, yes.
Yes.
correct? Okay.
So is there anybody in the audience to speak in favor of this? Seeing none, anybody in the audience to speak up in opposition to this? Seeing none. Okay. Any more questions from the board regarding microblading?
So, for Jeff, I have a question.
Okay.
So you had said out of our jurisdiction. So we're voting strictly on allowing them to run this business, which licensing and everything else would fall to Board of Health approval.
What we are asking this board to consider tonight is your criteria. Do you think that they meet your criteria for granting the special permit? whatever licenses or permits that they might need from the local Board of Health or the state, whatever the case may be, they're still obligated to secure those. But you just need to focus, in my opinion, on your criteria.
Permit criteria.
Because there wasn't a spa and laser there before, so, and we didn't get involved with that, right? So we just allowed
Well,
the
that's
microblading.
That's the question. Spa was always in that other one. That had masseuses, didn't it?
I can't say that it did.
I don't think so, not there.
Something's telling me we did that. I can't remember either. But you don't have no masseuses or anything?
No.
For informational purposes, outside of this matter, we can certainly do a little research about what licensing might be required just for your educational purposes.
But again, I mean,
We're
if we keep-
narrowing it down to microblading, not tattoos and everything, right? It's just that's part of that establishment, microblading, that's a special permit where.
Well, actually, what the special permit is for a body art establishment.
Correct.
As outlined in our zoning bylaws.
bylaws. And all we have to worry about is whether it meets the criteria,
Right.
not the licenses and all that stuff. That's somebody else's issue.
Yep.
But I guess my question was more that there will be a follow-up as far as checking licenses and making sure.
If you would like us outside of this matter to learn about what is required, either locally or statewide, we can look into that for you, but it should not affect your decision-making tonight. We hear you loud and clear.
Why are you smiling? I can see it
I don't
from
think we
here.
need to worry about the licensing. That's somebody else's problem.
Is the eyes?
I just want to make sure it's going to be followed up, though.
If there's nothing else from the
That's fine.
board, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So, second?
So, motion was made by Paul, seconded by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there any conditions that we want to place on this business?
I don't know any we could place on them.
No? I mean, it's in a commercial district, I mean, it's,
Pretty active little mall, there.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
activity other than this operation that's in and out of there.
Plenty of parking.
You might say
Their
that
parking.
they agree to be in compliance with the Board of Health.
Okay, we can put an advisory note in the,
Or pending approval from the Board of Health.
well, you don't want pending, because we're not.
you say the applicant has agreed to comply with all
Board of Health.
local and state licensing requirements.
Here, perfect.
Just interestingly, we had in the previous condition was that the volunteer agreed to have no more than one licensed microblading professional shall be employed at the spa at any one time. So is that going to be, there's going to be two? All right. Maybe we wanna-
Just worded
Is
as
that
such.
okay to condition two, I guess, is that?
I mean, do you really want to condition it? I mean,
No,
it's
yeah.
like any business, how many employees can you hire?
All right.
Some days you may
I hope we
have,
have 5 of them down there, because it means they're successful.
some days you may have none, because it's a quiet day.
Do you do the brows all the way across too, that people get requests? Some people like those.
Some people, this is the way
Okay, so,
you can't make this stuff up.
we close the public hearing. Could we have a motion to approve the special permit to a body art establishment in a commercial highway zoning district?
Move to approve.
Second.
So the motion was made by Jim, seconded by Jay. Paul?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Scott Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And I will also vote in the affirmative. If you were paying attention out back there, the staff has 14 days to write the decision. There's a 20-day appeal period, and after that, Paul will be down to see you. All right, good luck. I hope you do well there.
Thank you, guys.
Something like that. I just can't believe it.
Okay, the last order of business was put in the packet at my request. Good night.
Good luck. Good luck, Phil.
At my request, only because I think sometimes we tend to get overzealous in our authority. And like, this was a perfect example. All we're here to do is vote on the zoning. Not the state license, not the, the Board of Health, that's all their purview. Jeff wrote this up for us. I think he did an excellent job. And I think his summary kind of tells it as is. A lot of times we do this and we're not trying to solve all the world's problems. We're just trying to make the applicant aware of what potential problems could be, regardless of the decision. So that's kind of where it stands. Jeff, do you have any other comments?
Hey, is that enough?
No, I mean, I just think that, we have our yellow cards, they meet the criterion, it's about zoning, and that's why we're here.
And it's really easy to get sidetracked, and we struggle sometimes knowing when to say something or not, and we err on the side of not, because we don't want to be jury tampering, so to speak. But a lot of times you're just trying to, you think you're looking out for the applicant, and you're trying to nip a problem in the bud, even though it's not your problem. And the problem, sometimes that can actually, in and of itself, create a problem that wasn't there to begin with.
Right.
So, and it can be used against you sometimes, if someone tries to appeal.
Right.
Even though your intentions were pure. So if you just be mindful of that, stick to the yellow cards, and we have extras in case people want them. But yeah, it's just a good reminder every once in a while, so thank you, Scott.
Well, thank you, I appreciate you writing that.
I think it's well done and well stated. I think maybe we put, like, across that wall there, we put a big sign that says, "Stay in your lane, stupid." Because it's got "Stay in your lane," yeah. I look at that sign every once in a while, and maybe that would be a dope slap.
In this last case here, that came before us, isn't it prudent for us to find out if they're authorized to do all this stuff? Because why would we give them a permit if they're not?
Well, you certainly have discretion whether or not to issue or grant a special permit, but I'll tell you right now, it probably wouldn't look the best if in that exact same space, probably 2 years ago, you did grant one, and you would refuse to tonight potentially for something that's not truly in your jurisdiction. So we would be doing a disservice if we didn't bring that up, but we are going to look to see what the other one had. I just didn't want it to be part of the public hearing, because that could weaken your position.
But even if there wasn't a prior tenant there with the same occupation, if we decided it met all the special permit criteria, we granted the permit, and they get bounced because they didn't get a license, then they don't, the establishment doesn't operate. So,
as long as that's being checked by the appropriate parties.
I think
That was my point, why I was asking the question.
Is that
there's going to be follow-up to?
We can't bird dog every board in town and state agency to see that, I don't think it's that purview to go down and say, show me your license, or.
No, but we do copy the health department on all these applications, so.
So they're up on it.
They're aware, and I know it's difficult, I honestly can't keep track anymore. There are some things that I thought were definitely state, and some of the things, though it's state, sometimes they dish it to the local boards of health to sort of monitor, and I don't know where that line is, so I honestly don't know what is state or local anymore for this aspect of
Well,
it.
the
so.
previous one that moved, does that permit, our ruling for that
No.
location? So.
No, your approval is tied to that.
Did they ever
to the
come
land.
back here when they opened up down there?
I thought that they did, but we're gonna obviously check that too.
Well, it's interesting that we said one licensed microblading professional.
Well, you can
Yeah.
legally
Well, I'm
do
just saying
that.
we didn't from you know if there was a license for it, to be honest.
No.
with you.
To me, To me, it's almost a medical procedure.
That's the only I can think of. This one was in, up
By Mr. Max.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was one down across from Westford Swimming Tennis in Columbus Building a few years ago.
Yeah, what's that, 3 Littleton?
Don't we have a
Yeah, something like
restriction on
that.
where they could do tattooing?
One of those two buildings, I think it was Columbus Present.
As well?
I don't know. Let me, can we have a motion to close
Oh, yeah.
this meeting?
Yeah, so,
So moved.
second.
Made by Jim, seconded by Jay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Whether it's a state license or not, I don't know. I would
You can
assume,
get this guy off.
yeah.
Yeah.